Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm doing an update to my Pan Those eyeshadows, so if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. Before I get into that though, if you're new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button and let's hop into the video. Okay, I feel like I just filmed this update, but I think it's because I uploaded my update a little late. But it's been about 4 weeks, I think, since I filmed my last update, so we are still technically on time. Not the most exciting update. So last update, I'm just like jumping right into the update. Let's back up a bit. This Pan Those Eyeshadows is a project created by Alexi. I will link her channel down below. And I decided to put my own twist on it. I started doing this last year where I came up with a list of prompts, randomly generated them, and then picked eyeshadows to go along with that prompt. So it's been really fun. It's been really successful for me personally, and a bunch of people have been joining in with me. So I will link them down below, both on Instagram and on YouTube. If I'm missing you down there, I've been a little bit MIA lately, so if I've missed you, please let me know and I will be sure to include you. I want to make sure everyone's included, so please let me know if you're not. But last update, I had a really successful update. I rolled out 4 out of the 5 shades. And rolled in a bunch of new ones. I was not as successful this month. We do have 1 pan. I just wasn't wearing eyeshadow as much lately. Don't need to go into that whole explanation. But yeah, it hasn't been the greatest eyeshadow use month for me, but I have some progress. I have 1 shadow I didn't use at all. I have a shadow that I was able to hit pan on, and let's just get into it. I will also have my rules down below specifically for this project. Like, I want to have 1 matte in at all times, things like that. That'll be all down below as well. So the shadow from the intro that I have not rolled out yet is the shade Phoenix from Terra Moons. And unfortunately, I only used this once in the last month. You can see there's a little bit of a dip going, but have not really reached for it. I don't really know why, because I really love the shade. I just haven't been reaching for it. I don't want to roll it out. It is something I want to continue to work on. So that's staying in. So that means I have 17 more uses or pan until I can roll this out. Also, if my eyeshadow is looking, or my eyes look a little weird, I filmed a bunch of eye swatches this morning and then attempted to do eyeshadow after that, which was a really bad idea. So I feel like you can kind of see the eyeshadow. I wasn't able to get off on this eye, but that's why it looks a little, I feel like you could see the blue. Just ignore that. Then I had a prompt that was a shadow you love but rarely wear. So I chose a shadow from the Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos in Angelica Nikis. And I chose the shade Nebula. I have used it 3 times, and this palette is really hard to show, but I have a little bit of a dip going. These pans are pretty shallow, so I feel like I'm like 1 or 2 uses away from hitting pan. So I think this will definitely be done by next month. And what I've realized in wearing this is that I don't actually love it as I thought I remembered. It's very powdery, and the shimmer is just very dull now. I don't know if it was always like that. I don't think it was. Maybe the formula's been changing, but it's just a little bit dull on the eyes and just not as pretty as I remember it once being, which is pretty sad, but I think a couple more uses and I can get this out of my collection. And then I have 2 shadows from my Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette. I have a blue shimmer and a brown matte. And so for the blue shimmer, I had the shade Spell, which, as you can see, is the shadow I managed to hit pan on. It's pretty small, but I managed to do it. I used it once on my lid, and then the other look I did is I took the brown matte shadow, which is Manifest, which is starting to form a dip. I put that all over my lid, and then I used Spell as a winged liner, and that's how I hit pan. It was super, super pretty. Another notable outcome of this palette is I had a bonus pan in this shade, Amulet. Yeah, Amulet. I was just doing a neutral look with Manifest, and I surprisingly hit pan. So another one down. That means I have 4 shadows left until all of these have pan in it, which I am so excited about. I've been using the shade Vanish just to blend out my eyeshadow a little bit, and that's got a pretty big dip. So then after Manifest, I just have Stardust and Alchemy, and of course Vanish, but I think I will hit that without rolling it in. So I'm really, really close to meeting my goal on this palette. And then I totally skipped over this shadow. This is a shadow you save for a special occasion, and I chose Bayer Hollow from Glam Shop because if I'm going to save a shadow for a special occasion, it's going to be a hollow shade. And yeah, I just didn't touch this once, and that's really not because I don't love it, but I wasn't really wearing a ton of eyeshadow this month, and then I didn't put it in the right drawer. So I have two Alex drawers at this desk, and on this side, this way, the top drawer is all of my non-eyeshadow panning items, and then the second drawer are focus palettes or palettes I'm panning, and it for some reason ended up in my lipstick drawer. And so this just kind of got forgotten about. So unfortunately I didn't reach for it, but it's going in the right drawer right now, putting it right in there. So hopefully I will use that more and maybe have pan next month. I really think I'll be able to have pan in Nebula and potentially Manifest. So I'm aiming for a better month next month. We'll just see how it goes. But we do have one shadow rolling in. I added everything to Tiny Decisions, and I removed the prompts that I already got. So let's pick a shadow. Is it focusing? Please focus, please. Let's see what we get. Shadow that starts with a J. Okay, I'm gonna take a second, figure out what I wanna do for that shadow, and I will be right back. Okay, so that was actually super, super quick. And so what I did is okay, please excuse my phone case. I got a new phone, but my new case isn't in yet, so it's in this case that doesn't really fit it, just to protect it a little bit. Anyway, so I have a spreadsheet in Google Sheets, and basically how I have it set up is by brand, if it's a palette or single, and then the shadow name. And then I also have a column that tracks if I've hit pan in it, and if it's a shadow I'm interested in panning. And then I also highlighted the palettes that don't have pan in it yet. And what I can do is if I want to sort by brand or by letter, like the shade letter name, I can do that as well. So what I did is I sorted my shadows alphabetically, and I looked for palettes that didn't have a pan in it yet. So after looking through that sheet, I chose a palette from Glam Shop. This is the Burgundy palette, and I chose this shade, which the Google Translate says it is Bright Date, and it should be pronounced Yasni Dactyl, I believe. It's not plain anymore for some reason, but that's what I believe it said, Yasni Dactyl. This is just a really light pink, and this is something a little bit different for me, a little bit more outside my comfort zone, but I know the Glam Shop mattes are really easy to hit pan on. I don't have any pan in this palette, and I haven't really used it all that much, so I think it would be nice to play around with this. This Turbo Glow shade is absolutely stunning, so is this one, and then these two are more like regular shimmers, but I am excited to roll this in and play with something a little bit different for me and get some use on it. This, depending on how many times I use it, I could potentially have this out next month just because they are such powdery mattes. I think I can do it. So I'm gonna be rolling this one in, and that is all I have for you today. So I will pop up a picture of my old color story, and this is the new color story. So I'm excited to work on it. I'm excited to hopefully have at least 2 to 3 pans next month. I think I can do it. Let me pull up if I have any eye looks to share with you. So I only have 2 looks to share with you today. Unfortunately, I just didn't take that many. Of course, I didn't do too many looks with this, but this first one, I'm wearing my glasses, but I did this look twice with the Club Nebula palette. So I was just using the salmon matte, the red matte, and then Nebula all over the lid. And that was really simple and easy. And then the other look I have to share with you, I already mentioned. It is, scrolling down, it is where I took that brown Manifest shade all over the lid, and then I took Spell. I didn't bother with Durline or anything. I just kind of dipped my brush in and then wet it and applied eyeliner that way, and I really liked it. The brown Manifest shade, I forgot to mention, I don't really love that shade. I find it a little bit patchy. I think you can kind of tell in this eye look. It just didn't lay down evenly. It is really not a brown I really like to use, but I am trying to hit pan on it. But those are the only 2 looks I have to share with you today. Hopefully I will have a little bit more to share next time. So now that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!